I'm good. I'm good. You guys see me? I'm good. I'm here. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm a figment of your imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, did your P&L go higher today? We're going to give you our full news analysis. We're going to show you the companies that deserve to gap down, the companies that deserve to gap up, and certain opportunities for companies that didn't gap up that should have, that might be gapping down tomorrow. We have all that and more. We're going to discuss pot stocks in detail as well, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. We have so many things to talk about today. Marijuana stocks, like we started touching that sticky icky, and it was like going up in flames in the chart. There was green bars everywhere shooting up, and it was so much fun. We're going to go over a plethora of earnings names for you. We have that and so much more. But first, I would like to say thank you to our friends over at the T3 Live Compliance team. After you are done reading this, please understand that nothing I could say can ever be confirmed, backed up, or even true. I won't even prove to you that my name is Mark Melnick. I am a figment of your imagination. But as soon as you could read this forward and backwards and repeat it blindly in your sleep, only then do I give you permission to hit play on this video. And only then, once you understand that everything I say is just for entertainment purposes, heck, why am I here every night other than to make you smile? Only then are you allowed to hit play. Thank you so much. So, we have something very interesting today that we were watching. First, I'm going to just breeze through it, and then I have a really cool earnings sheet for you guys. I'm going to give you the 3 thumbs up out of 2, 3 thumbs up. This should say out of 3. See, it's new. So am I going to give it 3 thumbs up out of 3, which means it's my maximum bullishness, 2 or 1 or none. And basically, I have a very scientific method of judging these names as I pass judgment upon these names, in which I'm going to break down every one of these names that reported for you, including names like Roku, Square, Qualcomm, Sale, Win, just to name some, as well as some others. First, we said before that we have a little bit of news flow coming back. Like little easy ways to make money now after we were, sitting on our hands for a while. Oh, first time trader, quick $260 on AMD. Thanks for the value added. I didn't read that till now. But anyway, more important, Newsbeat game plan. Thanks for not cursing, by the way, because I just click them and I look. I'm not really exactly a social media guy. I literally have 2 friends on my Facebook, and one of them is T3, and the other one is my wife. So, yeah, those are my Facebook friends. Don't be offended if I didn't add you. I just don't use it other than to do this show for you. So, 8:51 a.m. this morning, Newsbeat game plan were easy. Have you ever been in one of those rooms that give you 15 ideas, 5 ideas, 10 ideas, 25 ideas, and then they'll go back and they'll look at the one that worked and be like, "Hey, look what we did here. Look at this. We were given this to you." Any imbecile could do that. It's actually very easy. You could actually write a coded script, because that is called the Zero Value Club. They tried to bring you value by throwing enough things at the wall, and eventually one of it sticks. You could throw your food at, you could throw a bowl of spaghetti at the wall, you could throw ice cream cones at the wall, you could defecate in your hand and throw it right at the wall, and eventually something's going to stick, and you're going to be like, look, look at that over there. Look what's stuck on the wall. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That is bringing you no value. We have a very clear, concise thing that we do. We don't always have one name on the game plan, but we don't overload you with symbols. Definitely, you'll get less trading ideas in my room than any other room out there. Quality over quantity, nonetheless. AMD upgrade. I said enjoy bandits, 8:51 a.m. So we're looking to do a one and done strategy on AMD. And if you're not familiar with the one and done, why are you not familiar with the one and done? Here is my one and done strategy. We take care of step one for you. Choose a name with positive or negative news. We chose AMD. We take care of step one for you. As after the first 1 minute bar closes, you literally have to sit on your hands from 9:30 to 9:31 a.m. Keep looking for the stock to break out of the first candle. When it does that, when it breaks out of the first candle, you go long. You buy in. And step four, pretty fun step. Happy trading, make money, right? That's a nice step. Let's take it to the charts. We have so much to offer you today with the news flow and whatever. I just want to show you, can you make money off this idea? So you wait for the first 1 minute bar to close, 21.45, and then the stock shoots up and holds up the entire time. Isn't that incredible? Goes all the way up to 21.80, digests, actually ends up obviously shooting even higher throughout the day. But even the simple move from 21.45 to 21.80, do you realize what happened with your options? Do you realize what happened with your option calls? Do you realize you could make like tens of thousands of dollars on a move like that? You'd have to be pretty heavy for just a move like that. But to make one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8,000, you don't got to be like that relatively heavy. You don't got to be that relatively heavy. Heck, it's a $20 name. What are you taking? Even if you take a 3,000 shares and you put yourself a tight little stop on 3,000 shares, you have the potential to make 35 cents. Okay, you make a quick grand, 1,050 bucks. Maybe you didn't catch the full move. Maybe you caught 20 cents, which was honestly not that hard because we were telling you, wait for the stock. Well, I wasn't telling you to do anything. Again, I'm just a figment of your imagination. I'm not really here. And we literally broke through 2165, which is the trigger I was telling the room that I was waiting for, and the stock shot through 2165. It was hard to not make 30 cents. Let's put it that way. It was really difficult not to make 25 cents is what I meant, till 70 cents, 45 to 70 cents. You couldn't have not made a quarter. And I know you might be sitting there like, oh, just a quarter. Don't underestimate what a quarter is in an AMD. AMD is not a little shit name that making a quarter means nothing. Making a quarter in Netflix means nothing. Making a quarter in Apple also means very little. Making a quarter in AMD, totally different story. AMD was the number one volume traded name today, 121 million shares. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means if you're making money with us on an AMD, you can ramp up yourself as much as you humanly can in the future. Again, if you're a multi-trillionaire, which no one on the planet is known to be at this moment, maybe not. But if you're looking to make a nice 4 or 5 figure day, that's very easy on AMD. You could go as heavy as you want. You could barely fit, you couldn't fit like a microorganism between that bid and offer. It is so tight. It is tighter than insert your favorite joke here. And that's what we give you this morning. Now, besides for that, we also traded a marijuana name. Now, this one I think we have to talk about, and then I'm going to give you my full earnings analysis. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of great stuff to talk about. I just want to show you what we're doing and what I think is going to happen and what I consider, for myself, a large position. Again, maybe I'm just a figment of your imagination, and nothing I ever tell you should be confirmed or taken seriously. Just feel free to ignore me. Pretend I don't exist. And this is what we did with Tilray today. Again, Christopher, I don't see a fundamental case for this. Possible future put, he's asking, someone on my Twitter. Um, no, not a potential put in my opinion. So maybe I'm the one getting high here at 2:51 p.m. and it's timestamped. And again, maybe this tweet exists. Maybe it doesn't. Just remember, everything I do should never be taken seriously. This is Comedy Hour with Mark Melnick. So for fun, I went ahead and I bought some $200 calls. And I bought the November 16th, 18, $200 calls at $1.20, and I even put dot dot likely will add more at 2:51 p.m. today. And I said maybe I'm the one getting high here. And the reason why I made the marijuana reference, not just because it was a marijuana stock, but at 2:51 p.m. today, at 2:51 p.m. today, the stock was at $126. This candle opened up at $126. So I'm buying $200 calls for next week when the stock is at $126. That's why I made the marijuana reference like I'm getting high because what are you smoking, bro, to do that? Fair enough. After we bought those calls and the Newsbeat live room just happened to be the room in which I noticed, and again, I can't confirm this because I don't have options volume. Again, don't take anything I ever say to heart or seriousness. In fact, consider everything I say to be a fallacy and untrue, and you will be, um, what's the word? Uh, compliant with what I'm saying. So, when I supposedly bought these calls at $1.20, Tilray supposedly, this might be a fake chart, ran up, and it actually shot up to $142.84. Those calls, ladies and gentlemen, when we were talking about in the room, I was actually, before I tweeted it was actually a little lower. I was actually trading 85 cents by 95 cents when I actually called it out. Those calls, those $200 calls went from 85 cents, which I didn't get a fill there. I got filled at $1.20, but that's where I was trading. Went from 85 cents to what was it? $5.50 approximately. Eight five I mean those calls went from like 85 cents to 5 and change in a matter of an hour. Less, excuse me. It actually was over $5 right over here at 325 in a matter of 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes. What does that mean? What is that? You might be sitting there like, Mark, I'm not an options trader. I'm a stock trader. There are people who trade, the majority of the Newsbeat live room trade stock. Here's the deal. If you took, like if you wanted to buy 100 shares of Tilray at $125, it costs you $12,500. Imagine you bought $3,000 worth of Tilray calls instead of that 100 shares, which cost you 12,500. And I'm not saying you have less risk on the 30 calls. I'm just saying it's a different type of risk. So let's say instead of betting $12,500 on Tilray with 100 shares, let's say you bought 30 call options at $1.20, which a lot of people in the room had better prices than me, but you paid $1.20. You bet $3,600, meaning if Tilray files bankruptcy, you're losing $3,600. That $3,600 bet, that $3,600 bet was worth well over $17,000 in a matter of 30 minutes. Your P&L would be $16,000 higher. Now I pass. Higher before you had to make a decision to pass on it. That is what we are giving you in real time. So the fun didn't end there. I went ahead and I opened up Tilray $300 calls because I was definitely very high at that point. And again, I can't confirm to you I was or was not smoking marijuana while trading this. Again, everything I say is a fallacy. Just keep that in mind for compliance. Nothing I say can be verified or is true and shouldn't be verified. So I went ahead and I bought $300 calls at $1.25, and I used the limit order to buy it. And I said, be very careful because my other position is up so much. So this was at 3:28 p.m. And then what I did was I went ahead and I bought, where the hell is that? then I went ahead and I bought the 170 calls, very light at 350, expiring on the weekly. Then and then I went ahead and I did my last position, and there we go. And I paid 205 for the 240 calls. What is generally happening, and again, this is on we're doing this real time in the room and on the Twitter service too. The truth is, what I've noticed is a lot of people go from the Twitter service and actually just go ahead and join the room because they just want all this stuff and they see a light in their future and they're like, I need to be trading full time with this dude. So that's what I did on Tilray. So I'm holding supposedly, I'll never verify it because it's not true. Supposedly, I might be holding a shit ton of Tilray calls. So obviously, I am hoping it goes up tomorrow. It's currently up $1.10 after hours. They popped it up, pulled it in, popped it up. I am shit boat heavy in Tilray. What is shit boat heavy? What is that? It's a mathematical term, ladies and gentlemen. I learned it in third grade. Look at this Tilray. You see this? You see this? We were slamming the living you know what out of it today. You want to know where a lot of the early option volume came in and a lot of the strikes? Came in the Newsbeat live room. Because after we discussed it, you see the numbers going up in the options traded. And I know there are people jumping on that bandwagon. And I know there are people who are crushing it. So I'm going to be in a really good mood or a shitty mood tomorrow. Obviously, all my positions were doing decent. I think the calls I bought later were like break even-ish, sort of, and the calls I bought early were like pew, up through the ceiling. And I decided to hold it. I decided to hold it all. So I actually did not sell. Ladies and gentlemen, I sold 0 calls of Tilray today. Supposedly. I sold 0 calls of Tilray, and supposedly I'm holding every damn position I showed you on Twitter. Good luck, pot stocks. How about I show you my entire new session where we break down every single earnings names, giving it the Melnick 3 thumbs up. Where will your name be? I'm going to analyze the earnings and I do it extremely unbiasedly. I have positions. I have a very large, supposedly, I have a large position in some of the names that you'll see. And I will judge it as if it were just like your Judge Judy. Like you have no bias. You know, they have like the woman with the blindfold on and she's holding, the scale and it shows like I'm completely blind to judgment of who you are, and I hold this scale and I just judge you based on the weight of your arguments. That's how I'm treating this sale. Except I'm not a woman. I don't have a blindfold on or a scale. I threw out my scale. Like me and my scale had a very tumultuous relationship. I used to like it when I was younger. Now, doesn't like me. Let's put it that way. It starts spewing out these large numbers at me. I'm not a fan. Like I'm like, you and I aren't cool anymore, and I walked away. Okay, we're gonna start off with our brand new session of earnings analysis. We're gonna start off, ladies and gentlemen, SailPoint Technologies. Now you might know SailPoint Technologies because Mark Melnick is this is my 2018 report, favorite stock of 2018. Sale point, current price 14.50 at the beginning of the year. First target $30 and it hit. This I did before the year started. I sent this out to all the traders. So this is my favorite stock as of the beginning of the year. Nothing changed. So what is SailPoint doing after hours? It is down $1.60 at the moment. Let's take it to the numbers, see how many Melnick thumbs up we give. Again, I am completely unbiased, despite supposedly having a position in it. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. SailPoint reported 12 cents. That's first the loss of 2 cents expected. That is a Melnick thumbs up. Analysts expected them to lose 2 cents per share. They made 12 cents. That is one Melnick thumbs up. And if you're actually curious, where this Melnick thumbs up thing came from, go ahead and watch my evolution gathering, my evolutionary gathering number 1, where I teach you how to evolve with the market. We did it on Sunday. It's within the, you could probably find it on YouTube with a search, or if you look at my Facebook playlist, you'll see it there. So they did 12 cents versus the loss of 2. Analysts expected them to lose 2 cents. Instead, they made 12 cents. That's a thumbs up. 70 to 66.4 million beat the consensus of 55.22 million. That's another Melnick thumbs up. So far we're dealing with 2. Here is where they effed up. So they said their Q4 EPS, which is their next earnings quarter, they're expecting 8 to 9 cents versus the 10 cents expected. And they're seeing revenue of 70 million to 71.5 million versus the consensus 76 million. That is a thumbs down. So, in terms of, but here's the funny thing, and I'm going to take it a step further. So, I'm actually going to make more commentary on this. So far, Sale is 2 out of 3. Sale scored a 2 out of 3 on the Melnick thumbs up. But what they did say is that their 2018 earnings per share is going to be a total of 25 to 26 cents this year, as opposed to the 13 cents expected, meaning the analysts didn't know what they were talking about, which is fine. They saw their full revenue 240.7 million to 242.2 million versus the consensus 235.46 million expected. So they still see their whole consensus for the entire year well above where the analysts are measuring it. And let me tell you, like, so this is sale point after hours. You could see it popped, it dropped, it popped a little. Now sort of digesting in the midpoint of the range. Here's my thought on sale point. What sale point did is they did an awesome job. The reason why is because they had extra business from last quarter, which people signed up early for their services. So it wasn't spread out. The same thing could be said as a trader. If you made $500,000 in a year, or doesn't mean you are averaging about $40,000. I mean, means you're averaging about 40,000 a month. But if you actually look at your months, you didn't make 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. No, you probably have 120 win, 30 loss, 50 win, 10 win, 60 win, 20 loss. Whatever your numbers are, you get the picture. It's not like consistent, the same number across the board. That's what happened with SailPoint here, in my opinion. I humbly believe that they were signing up so much damn business early because people couldn't wait to get their products, that even though their earnings per share is twice as high as the analyst consensus for the year, and their revenues are a solid 5 to 7 million, modestly higher than the consensus, they didn't pan out their earnings in a way where they didn't have people sign up later. They actually signed up earlier. So it ended up making their next guidance look lower because they signed up so many people now, today. I think this is an overreaction overall for the stock. As somebody who may or may not be holding this, I think this is an overreaction for the stock here. I do think it goes higher from here. I don't know how it's going to react tomorrow. Do I think it's fair that they gapped it down $1.60? Sure. Why not? If they gapped it up $1.60, I would say the same thing. It's not enough to get me worked up. It wouldn't surprise me to go green tomorrow on sale, and I'll just keep an eye on it. All right. Guys can't wait for me to get to the next one, right? Roku. So Roku makes everybody's least favorite streaming service. And taking a look at Roku, you could see here's the after hours chart right now, live. You could see they plummeted Roku all the way down here. Was Roku treated fairly? Let's talk about it. They lost 9 cents expected versus the consensus 12 cents. That is a thumbs up. The 173.4 million beats the 169.08 million expected. That's another thumbs up. Now, for next quarter, they said that they're going to be between 255 million to 265 million. That beats the average mean of 258.64 expected, because When you say 255 to 265, it means on average you'll do 260, at least from where I'm coming from. And 260 million definitely beats the 258.64 million expected. Ladies and gentlemen, Roku has been treated unfairly during these earnings, and I wouldn't be surprised if I traded tomorrow to watch this thing go higher, right over to Roku right here. 3 out of 3. You were unfairly treated. If it gapped up, it would have been fairly treated. Unfairly treated. You were unfairly treated, Roku. Don't let the kids at school get to you. You did a good job. You beat the stupid analysts who incorrectly predicted your earnings. You raised the revenue higher than where those analysts were expecting you. You are unfairly being beaten up here. Do not be surprised to see Roku rally off this gap down. How's that for? Tell me how you really feel, Mr. Melnick, which I'm not confirming is really my last name. Qualcomm. All right. So Qualcomm after hours, they reported here as well. They yanked it down, shot it up, and then yanked it down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. 90 cents versus the 83 cents expected. 5.83 billion versus the 5.52 billion expected. Q1 adjusted, that's for next quarter. This is their Q4 earnings. For next quarter, they're projecting in the future. $1.05 to $1.15 earnings per share versus the 95 cents expected. But here's where they fell short. Q4 revenue, 4.5 to 5.3 billion. The median of that would be 4.9 billion. So they basically said 4.9 billion versus the 5.57 billion. That's $670 million. That is not chump change unless you're Apple. Then it is. For Qualcomm, it is not chump change. That is a huge thumbs down. In terms of their report here, I'm going to give them two, and this is 2 out of 3 to the upside. This is bullishly 2 out of 3. So just keep in mind when I say 3 out of 3, I mean bullish. When I say 0 out of 3, I mean bearish. And 0 out of 3 is fine when you gap down. This has been fairly treated though, because their revenue is that bad in my opinion, where I just think that this down move is justified in Qualcomm. Okay. Square. All right. Company had drama, people left. Let's go ahead and analyze Square. All right. Square. 13 cents. Beats the 11 cents consensus. Well played, Square. 431 million. Outpaces the consensus of 413 million. That is 2 thumbs up right there for Square. Great job crushing the analyst expectations. Now here's where they screwed up. They did 12 to 13 cents adjusted earnings per share for next quarter. The 12 to 13 cents is short of the 15 cents expected, but their adjusted revenue was 446 to 451 million, and that was ahead of the 440 million expected for Square. Now they came out, and what they did was they tightened their range. They said they were gonna they narrowed their fiscal year 18 range. I think the analysts got this one wrong. They actually said they're gonna make 45 to 46 cents versus the 42 to 46 cents they said prior. So they raised it because now they're saying it's going to be 45 or 46 as opposed to 42 to 46. They tightened it in a positive way. They took the lower number and pulled it forward. Adjusted revenue about 1.57 billion. That's a raise from about 1.53 billion. The consensus was 1.5 billion. This stock is being unfairly treated. I am giving, as a result, I'm giving Square 2.5 out of 3, and I will say this one I believe was unfairly treated. And whether you gap up or down, remember, I thought Amazon was unfairly treated 2 earnings ago when we were shorting it. And I even shorted it last earnings. I said I was the person who told you Netflix gap up didn't make sense. And I sat there and I ripped a new one into every analyst who upgraded it when the stock opened up at 380 and the Newsbeat live room, if that is a real room, was potentially crushing it by shorting Netflix that day. You see how that works? So Netflix was unfairly treated when it gapped up. I'm not here defending beaten up names. I'm here defending the name if it deserves to be defended. And I'm saying, you're unfairly treated even if you gap up when you should have gapped down, like Netflix, obviously. Okay, moving on along. So Square is unfairly treated. So look for these names to potentially reverse. Roku, Square, those stocks should be gapping up, and they're not. Okay? In my opinion. Here's Wynn Resorts. When Resorts reported, they shot it up hard and then ripped it down harder. And now the stock is trading underneath $100. All right. $1.68 versus the $1.69 expected. That's one thumbs down. 1.71 billion is the revenue they reported. That's short of the 1.66 billion expected. That's rather ahead. 1.71 billion over 1.66. That's a thumbs up. So far we have one up, one down. Um, they said their Las Vegas operating revenue was down 14%. That looks horrible to me. I'm giving this two thumbs down, and I think this is being fairly treated. So they only got one thumbs up, so that's one out of three. Obviously, I think that's fairly treated. You only deserve to gap up if you're like 3 out of 3 or 2.5 out of 3, by the way. So let's move on to car gurus because they're just such gurus when it comes to cars. CARG reported after hours stock shot up. It's about up 6 points after hours right now. CARG 8 cents beat the 5 expected. 119 million beat the 112.7 expected. They raised their fiscal year 26 fiscal year view from 26 cents to 27 cents. That was a raise from 22 to 23 cents. They raised their revenue to around 450 million versus about the 438 million expected. This deserves to gap up. This is 3 out of 3. So remember, when I give these ratings here, um, it it just means that they're thumbs up. 3 out of 3 thumbs up, meaning that they did a good job, and I'm gonna give them like a little sticker or something. Who knows, something to just really commend them for a job well done. Here we have Take Two, gapped up about 3 points after hours. We're moving to the next one on our list. TTWO, Tango Tango Wilson Oscar. That's Take Two Interactive. Just taking a look here at the earnings report. They said, they're going to have 22 cents, but it may not compare to the 93 cents, huh? Net bookings 583.4 million. That well outpaces the 550 million approximate consensus. Um, they raised their fiscal year 2019 to 1.73, $1.73 to $1.98 from $1.45 to $1.70. And it looks bullish across the board. I don't know what this gap EPS is, and it may not compare to consensus. I don't know what that means. I do think I have no real strong opinion on it, and that's okay, but I am giving it 2 out of 3 thumbs up. So the ones that I think are opportunities, generally speaking, are the ones that were unfairly treated. Doesn't mean I won't look at a potential long trade or short trade in some of these names tomorrow. I might look for a short trade and win. I'm just saying if you think stocks that are gap down could go higher, I would say that Roku and Square at the moment have the highest chance of that happening. Next on our list, Carvana. As soon as this chart pulls up here, CVNA. And looking at Carvana, you're shooting up after hours. You're up over 10 points at the moment. They lost 40 cents versus the loss of 37 cents expected. That's a thumbs down. They had revenue of 535 million approximately versus the 510 million. That is a thumbs up. So far, one up, one down. They see Q4 revenue a lot higher, 570 to 630 million. That's ahead of the consensus 579 million expected. And they see their fiscal year 18 revenue 1.94 to $2 billion versus the 1.92 expected. and that is an increase of the retail unit sales increased 112 to 118% is what they're projecting. So this is a case where you're going to get 2 out of 3 thumbs up. Again, I like to look for things that are vastly unfairly treated. And so far, it seems like Roku and Square are vastly unfairly treated. I think those are easier opportunities. Again, this is something new I'm doing. If you enjoy it, write in the comment section. Let me know if you do, or if you don't like this part of my segment, say you don't enjoy it, and I'll take everyone's consensus into consideration. So this one is getting 2 out of 3 thumbs up. Next on my list is, we're going into, alarm.com, ALRM, gapping up $10 at the moment. 36 cents beat the 25 expected. They had revenues of 111 million. That's ahead of the 96 million expected. Um, they raised their fiscal year view to $1.28, and the consensus was $1.20. That is 3 thumbs up. Alarm definitely deserves to be gapping up here. Very well played, Alarm. Very well played. Let's see, add it to the dictionary. There we go. And last but not least, we have UPWK, that's Upwork Incorporated. And the stock is basically popped up, popped down, popped up, and now is pretty much in the center of their range here. Looking at Upwork, they lost 20 cents versus the loss of 3 cents consensus. Boom. So totally missed on earnings per share. 64 million is ahead of the 62.5 million approximately expected. Okay, that's 1 thumbs up. And they see their Q4 revenue 64.5 to 66 million versus the consensus of 63.85 million, and their revenue is also about 2 to 4 million they're projecting ahead of consensus revenue. That is 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb down. So overall, in terms of opportunity here, I think Square and Roku could be a really excellent long. I think Roku is being completely treated unfairly. It's kind of funny. Remember, I'm the same. You want to compare Roku to Netflix? I'm the same person who told you Netflix earnings were horrible, and shorted the crap out of it and watched it drop 110 points. No, I did not catch 110 points on it, but you saw what happened after they reported. Roku is being unfairly treated here. This is not fair to the company, which is okay. Wall Street doesn't always get it right. That is why we do what we do. We look for these discrepancies. I think Roku and Square were both treated unfairly. I think they both could be a long tomorrow. So, there. Those are my feelings. Here is your earnings list. You can go ahead and screenshot this as well. And, you know, take advantage of this. And if you like it, definitely leave a comment, or email me, mark.melnick@t3live.com. Say you loved it, hated it, you're ambiguous towards it. I'm trying to bring you guys like new stuff here. I'm trying to bring you guys more value. So with that being said, we go right into our precise daily stock levels. And you can see right over here, these are our algorithmic levels for tomorrow, November 8th. Feel free to copy them, screenshot them, tattoo it to your head. Maybe these names exist. Maybe all the FANG names are a figment of your imagination. But if they are there, this is where I would look for algorithmic levels. And of course, we go into our Forex. We go into our Forex right here. And you could see very simply, we have a buy for US standard lots, euro pound. Here's the price. Here's the stop loss. Here's the take profit. And you could just see how all this is put together, just for a nice little Forex trade there using my algorithmic trend lines. This is we just had a winner the other day, in which we got filled from the other night. And here's my new Forex order for today. Again, it might be there. This might be a live screenshot of my software. It might not be. And with that, our game plan. Whoo! So on my game plan today, I am watching, I'll just say it verbally, I'm watching Twilio. Twilio, big name actually that we're calling breaking out today in real time. I think there's no reason why Twilio doesn't get to $100 tomorrow. I will repeat it. I, Mark Melnick, if that is my name, again, I will never confirm that for you, think that Twilio can go to $100. Twilio can go to $100 tomorrow. And I'm going to look at it. So what I want, so what I'm looking for, so I'm looking for a move above 96.97. That's not a range. It's $96.97, not 96 or 97. Look for a break at today's high. There's no reason why Twilio doesn't get to $100 tomorrow. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow as well. So keep an eye on Twilio. That should be good. Maybe you get a move to $100. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we go into our full stock analysis. That's any stock you're watching, my thoughts, my levels, what I would potentially look to do with it. And of course, that is for Newsbeat Live members only. Ladies and gentlemen, there may or may not be a reason why the Newsbeat Live room is or is not the largest, fastest growing trading room in the United States of America. Happy trading, make money. I may or may not see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. I hope, maybe, that you have a wonderful evening.